Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skatedown. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe with the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. The Seattle Kraken expansion draft. What did you guys and girls think about it? How did you feel about the selections that were made? Comment below and let me know. I really want to know because this was a very interesting draft. The day started off very odd. You saw a lot of the names being leaked, and I didn't remember that happening with the Vegas Golden Knights. I remember just watching it that night and seeing all the names and all the trades that happened as the night went on. But this today, you just minute after minute, you got all the names that were selected, and it kind of took the flavor out of the day. So it was a bit of a letdown. The way the whole expansion draft went, all the selections that were chosen, some of them were head scratchers. So it was just it was different. It was different from the Vegas Golden Knights expansion draft. And, I want to talk about that in this video. I want to talk about all the selections that were made. I want to talk about the players that weren't selected, that were heavily rumored to be selected this past week. So, I'm curious to see what all the fans thought. What did you guys and girls think about how Ron Francis did? Did you think he did a good job with the selections he made? There was talks of a lot of side trades happening to, take this player and then you'll get some sort of compensation for it, where, afterwards it was mentioned that there was none. But when Ron Francis was asked after all the festivities happened, he talked more about possibly not not alluding to it, but it may happen where it gets mentioned later instead of today. So maybe it was something that couldn't be mentioned as of today. But a lot of these names left you scratching your head as to why did they pick this player. So let's get into it. So a lot of the notable forwards that were available that you heard a lot of rumors the past week. Ron Francis chose to stay away from them because of their cap hit. Their cap hit was way too high. We're entering this flat cap era for the next couple of years. So a smart move in not bringing in all these big contracts and tying them down for the next couple of years. So, a lot of the names that were mentioned, Ryan Johansson was $8 million on his current deal. Matt Duchene was $8 million. Vladimir Tarasenko at 7.5, and now Tarasenko was one of the names that was heavily rumored to be a Seattle Kraken. With a lot of his injury history, his medical staff was saying that he's A-okay to play this year, so he was looking forward to having a bounce back year. So you kind of automatically assume they need that big name, that big sniper there. So his name would be chosen. You heard a lot of rumors of them picking him and then flipping him to Philadelphia as one of the teams that were mentioned for Voracek and Haig. That was a rumor that was going around. So, I'm curious as to why I didn't draft him, but I like the whole Dunn selection. I really do. JVR was another name that was mentioned at $7 million. Subban was $9 million. Zucker was $5.5 million. Max Domi was another name that I thought was going to be a Kraken at $5.3 million. Palat at $5.3 million. Niederreiter at $5.25. Now, with the whole Carolina selection, Morgan Geekie was selected. I thought it was definitely going to be Niederreiter or Jake Bean. I thought it was Jake Bean hands down because he's definitely a good up-and-coming defenseman. But they chose to go Geekie, and I'm curious as to if there's a side trade with that selection. Josh Bailey at $5 million. I thought Josh Bailey was a hands-down selection that was going to be picked, but they chose to go with Eberle. I like Josh Bailey, I really do. Longtime Islander, and it has a good cap hit of $5 million. So he remains an Islander. We'll see if there's anything more with that. Dadonov at $5 million. Now looking at some of the goaltenders, and the top of the list was Carey Price at $10.5 million. You heard constant rumor after rumor ever since he waived his no movement clause and then wanted to save Jake Allen. So that was a big thing, and then you heard about the whole, that he needed some sort of surgery and stuff. So, it was curious to see if the Seattle Kraken would have chose him as their starting goaltender. He's coming off a really good run in the playoffs this past year. So it was a constant back and forth, but they didn't elect to go with him. And I like the goaltenders that they chose. Murray at 6.25, Quick at 5.8. Holtby was another name at 4.3. So there was a lot of good names that were out there that on paper could have looked better, but for what Ron Francis did. But the smart move may have been to just stay away from these contracts, as they all have a heavy cap hit. The Kraken did talk briefly early into the 72-hour window with Gabriel Landeskog's camp, but haven't had any conversations since. Pierre LeBrun has him possibly re-signing with the Avalanche or testing free agency. Same thing with Dougie Hamilton. He was another name that they were trying to see if they can work out a contract with, but they weren't able to do it. So he's another one name that's going to be heavily sought after once free agency opens. So now looking at the actual selection. So I'll break it down by forwards, defense, and then goaltenders. So the forwards chosen by Ron Francis and the Seattle Kraken: Yanni Gourde, Brandon Tanev, Jared McCann, Jordan Eberle, Jonas Donskoy. I think it's a great selection. Kyle Yarncrook, Morgan Geekie, Mason Appleton, Carson Twarynski, Cole Lind, Nathan Bastian. Now, Nathan Bastian was one that I didn't want the Devils to lose. I was hoping, I saw a lot of mock drafts of a lot of people saying that they were going to choose Andreas Janssen, Will Butcher. I saw some with even PK Subban's name out there, but Nathan Bastian was a name I didn't want to lose, and Kraken fans are going to grow to love this guy. He's a young kid. He's an up-and-coming kid. He plays bottom-line minutes, but he just goes out there and hits. That's all this guy does, and he does have some offensive touch. I think he's going to develop it as time goes on, but he's a good kid. He's a good guy in the locker room. A lot of the players in the Devils got along with him and liked him, so it sucks to see him go, but best of luck, Bastian. Tyler Pitlick, John Quenneville. Now, John Quenneville is a name I'm also familiar with. He was drafted by the New Jersey Devils, played in our system, and to me, this was a head scratcher. There was a lot of really good names on the Blackhawks roster. Gaudette was a name that was going around. There was a couple of names, and to see him being selected kind of leads me to believe that there's a deal with this one, especially. It has to be some sort of deal that's going on because, yeah, that was a head scratcher to me. And Colin Blackwell from the Rangers. Looking over at their defense, you have Mark Giordano, Jamie Oleksiak, Adam Larsson. Now, Adam Larsson and Oleksiak were picked, and they signed an extension with the Kraken, so that's good. Vince Dunn, I think, is a great selection. You heard his name recently in a lot of trade rumors, but I think he's going to add a lot to the Kraken back end. Cale Fleury, Hayden Fleury, Jeremy Lauzon, Gavin Bayreuther, Carson Saucy, Curtis McDermott, William Borgen, and Dennis Cholowski. And now looking at the goaltenders: Chris Driedger, Vitek Vanacek, and Joey Decord. So as it stands now with this roster that Ron Francis selected, their current cap hit now is $52.5 million, and current cap space they have a lot of. It's $28.9 million around. So they have a lot of cap space. I know Ron Francis is going to add a lot when free agency opens. There's still trades that are going to be made as the offseason goes on. So I know a lot of Kraken fans are worried and wondering why certain players were chosen. Don't worry, Ron Francis has a lot of time from now to the start of the season to upgrade the roster if he chooses to do so. So it was an interesting expansion draft, but comment below. What do you think about the selections that Ron Francis made? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Comment below and let me know. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. Smash that like button. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the Hockey Skatedown. Join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Take it easy. Stay safe.